Hi everyone, welcome to the Loveworks Dreamers and Doers podcast. At Loveworks, we believe you're never too young to dream and you're never too old to do your dreams. I'm Arya and I'm joined by my co-host Sammy Grace. It's great to be here today.
Hi Arya. Each of our episodes include interviews from our world-class leaders who inspire, educate, and give you action steps to help your leadership journey. Today, we are coming to you live outside from Herd on Herd, which is a fun-filled monthly street festival with live music, food trucks, and pop-up shops in street in downtown Edmond, Oklahoma. And we are joined by President and CEO of Citizen Bank of Edmond, Jill Castilla. Hi.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm really good. How are you?
Good. So Jill laid a 180-degree turnaround at Citizen Bank of Edmond through her approach to fintech and social media. She changed the story of bank from one near collapse, a failure, to one of a great success and innovation. Jill broke virtual radio silence through the power of social media by leading the bank from having no audience to more than 30,000 followers who engage with the bank through Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. She's been named Most Admired CEO in Oklahoma, Most Innovative CEO in Banking, Community Banker of the Year, and Most Powerful Women in Banking.
Her entrepreneurial spirit spills over into her community engagement as founder of the Herd on Herd, a monthly street festival that revitalized downtown Edmond, creating over $35 million in immediate economic impact. An Army veteran, wife, and mom prior to joining Citizens Bank, she was at the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City and with a community bank in Minnesota. Jill holds a degree in economics from the University of Oklahoma, and she is a graduate from the University of Wisconsin-Madison's Graduate School of Banking and completed her bachelor's degree in finance from Hawaii Pacific University, where she is a distinguished alumni. Hello, Jill. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, it's great to be here.
We are the Dreamers and Doers podcast, and we'd like to know, do you consider yourself a more natural dreamer or doer?
I think probably more of a natural doer, but I do like to, as soon as I kind of have the dream, I want to activate it. So I don't think they're mutually exclusive, so I think it can kind of be both.
Yeah, for sure. So, Jill, we'd love to hear part of your story. What was life like growing up for you, and was your first dream job in business or banking?
Well, yeah, so I grew up in Okmulgee in eastern Oklahoma with a single dad, so we didn't have very much. And so my very first job was carrying groceries out at the local grocery store. And then after that, when I went to college, I was trying to pay for college myself. And then I enlisted in the Army to pay for the rest of college. But my first real business position was actually working at Citizens for minimum wage in their bookkeeping department. And then I also worked at a t-shirt shop in Hawaii. It was super fun on Waikiki, like right near the beach. And that was really great. It was a really admired company, and they taught me a lot of sales skills. And that's where I really found kind of where I loved economics and business, and it really got me to shift from being a chemical engineering major to majoring in finance.
Okay, so can you tell us about your journey to becoming the CEO and president of a bank?
Well, it was a little bit of a long one, and not certainly something I wasn't anticipating doing, but this bank got into a lot of trouble, and I had worked at the Federal Reserve, which is an extraordinary place, for about 10 years, in the bank in Minnesota. And this bank, I had worked here before. They got into a really bad situation during the financial crisis in 2009, and they asked me to come back to help turn it around. And so they didn't have very much money, which you need usually to turn around a bank. So we were able to turn around what actually was the fastest turnaround in the nation without adding capital. And then we decided we really wanted this community bank that had been around for 100 years here in downtown Edmond to be around for 100 more.
Wow, that's really cool.
So we know your life is probably really busy. As we heard, you have a lot of achievements under your belt. So what does a day in your life look like as a CEO?
You know, it's really, I would love for you guys to follow me around sometime. You can kind of come and hang with me. Unfortunately, there's a lot of meetings, a lot of phone calls. I engage a lot on social media. I sit in the lobby of our bank, and so I think it's really important as a leader to be accessible to your team, but also those that you serve, and not be kind of in an ivory tower. And so it can be very random, and customers will come in and let me know about their concerns or opportunities and dreams, and then I get to help them either achieve those dreams or fix something we're doing wrong, and then help our staff kind of see the bigger picture of what we're trying to do. So it's very varied. It can be really fun, and then I can also have some boring days as well, but all of it is progressing forward as a team, and it's just an honor to serve in that position.
That sounds really nice. So you're not only a company president, but you're also very involved in the community. Can you tell us about the Dream to Start Herd on Herd event back in 2013?
Yeah, when we started Herd on Herd 8 years ago, downtown Edmond had a lot of empty storefronts. Our bank had also decided to sell all our branch locations and just come back to our home. We've been on the same intersection for 121 years. So we decided to come back to downtown Edmond. There are no other banks in downtown Edmond. We're the only one because it was really kind of void of a lot of economic activity. And I had seen a great food truck festival that started happening in downtown Oklahoma City, the largest in the nation, H&A, and the holiday pop-up shops, which is a really fun little place where new entrepreneurs had a place to showcase their goods. And then there was a Bank of Michigan that started a summer music festival. So we decided to fuse those things together, knowing that the arts can be a great economic stimulus. And we started Herd on Herd. We had to beg food trucks to come and guarantee them a certain amount of money. And then they didn't think they could make money in Edmond. And then within an hour, they sold out of all of their food, and they really knew that we had something special. And so since then, we've had about, on average, 20,000 people come to downtown Edmond. That $35 million economic impact, that's really a statistic from the Oklahomans for the Arts. They do an analysis every year to see if you go to an arts-related activity, how much you usually spend on food and outside the cost of the ticket. And in Oklahoma, we actually spend more than other places in the nation when we go to an arts event. So arts can really be this economic stimulus, plus you get to showcase all these great entrepreneurs.
That is super cool. I learn something new every day, and I think that's really awesome. So you also serve on many community boards, including the Edmond Chamber of Commerce, as a startup mentor. So can you tell us more about why you feel mentoring is important, and did you have a mentor growing up?
I was really fortunate to have a lot of leaders around me that encouraged me to do more than I thought that was possible for me to do. It's always wonderful to have people in your life that see a vision for you that's well beyond what you see for yourself. And so I've been really fortunate to have that in my life and knew how important it was for me. And so I try to do that tenfold for everyone else, knowing what type of impact it can have. So I mentor a lot of women in my industry around the nation, but a lot of startup CEOs and founders, just trying to be a resource for them. It could be that they're starting a food truck or starting something in which they have a patentable idea. But I get a lot from that too. I get to be part of those hundreds of stories and get to have joys and a lot of the success in our life, but also get to have just even more success, more joy by seeing the success of others.
That's nice. So on another note, I read online that you were the executive producer of a chart-topping rap album in 2020. Can you tell us more about that experience?
Yeah, so one of my closest friends is JB Williams, and JB is an extraordinary leader here in Oklahoma, and he's someone that really challenges my perspective, and I just love spending time with them. And rap is really, it's a genre that I grew up with. As whenever you go into my car and listen to what I'm listening to, it's going to be, there's going to be rap or R&B on the radio or on my iPod or my phone. With JB, the rap is also really accessible to launch nationally. So there was a group of us that thought, now's the time to try to really make a splash with JB nationally, not just live at this treasure to Oklahoma. And so we decided to have a party for him, do a fundraise, and then he had his album that he launched that was that really just was about having, the whole premise of the album is about having one another, and that no matter how bad the world can be sometimes, and how you can experience failure and tragedy, that there's people around you that will lift you up, and that's what the album was about. It was really an honor to be a part of it.
I love that. I love that so much. I too am a fan of rap. I think it tells a great story, and we're starting to wind down in the interview, but what is one life lesson that you wish someone would have told you when you were in middle school or high school?
So, the biggest lesson I think in my life has been, I had some really terrible challenges early on in life, and when I look back, those challenges are what built me. They're the ones that prepare me for later challenges in life that are maybe more complex, and without that darkness and those hurdles, I would never be the person I am today. And so I would just say to my younger self that to have that faith that you're being built for something, and these challenges and adversity are what build character. They build resilience and they build success. And so if it's not happening to you that you have challenges in your life, lean into opportunities that will expose you to challenges so you can become even bigger than what you ever thought you could be.
That's really inspiring. So for our last question, do you have a tip of any kind that you want to share with our listeners that want to start their own businesses or become a CEO of a business one day?
Yeah, I think the biggest lesson I would have is just saying yes. Like, don't be a no person. Like, whenever you see an opportunity, just saying yes to it and leaning into things that sometimes don't seem fun, because those are the things that when I look back on, I learned the most from. So saying yes, and then saying yes to yourself when you have that idea, experimenting, trying, moving forward, and if you fall and you fail, that you're falling forward.
I love that. Jill, thank you so much for your time. I know that we and those that listen are going to be so much better for it. Where can we find more about Citizen Bank of Edmond?
So you can follow us on social media. So my social media accounts are all at Jill Castilla, and then the bank is at Citizens Edmond, and we engage a lot on social media. You're also welcome to give me a call or text me at 405-808-8993.
Aria, those were some awesome interviews. What was something that stuck out to you that the audience can go and do now?
It was. I think one important thing that I learned is that you should always say yes to any opportunities you get, because you never know where that's going to take you.
I love that. I think that is so awesome. I love how she talked about leaning on your team, and that you have a team and not to be afraid to talk with them and work with them. So just a reminder, don't forget to visit loveworksleadership.org how you can be a part of our next Business Boot Up cohort. Applications will be opening only for a limited time, so don't wait.
And remember, real leaders don't blend in, they stand out.
Dream big.
And do your dreams.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.